Hello pattern lovers, welcome to OJ Patterns. Today we'll be working on this design. Okay, so let's analyze it. So the first one we want to note is the neckline. The neckline is wider than the basic neckline, so it's like a kino neckline. So that means it's going to be wider, so we'll need to expand the neckline and probably drop it down by like 1 cm or 1.5 cm a bit. Next is the style line that is coming from the armhole flowing towards the dart and then a little bit below the bust line, and then we have the style lines around the waistline. So that's what we'll be working on. So the first thing we want to do is trace out your basic dress sloper. That's the basic dress, that's a combination of your basic bodies and your basic skirt. If you don't know how to do this, just check the feeds. I've done that. I made a video of it on how to combine both your bodies and your skirt block into a dress. All right, moving on, please don't forget to subscribe if you've not done so. That way my video would be able to reach other people easily. Thank you very much for being faithful to this channel, and let's move on. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is work on the neckline starting from the top. So I'm going to expand the neckline. That's from the neck point, taking, let's say, up with 3 cm. Don't forget, whatever you do to the front neckline, you have to do it to the back neckline. So that means the expansion we have here, we have to expand the back by 3 cm too. So let's go 3 cm in, and then I'll drop down 1 cm. So you can always alter the measurement as you see fit. Okay, and then I'll just connect. Okay, moving on. Now we're done with that. Next is to mark out the armhole area where our shaping would come from. So you can do probably like midpoint of the armhole, or just decide or how you want it. You can just decide how you want. So I'm going to use somewhere here because I want it to go up a bit. Okay, so you decide the measurement. Now from here, it's going to flow out a bit to like 2 cm or 2.5 in order for us to have the curve that it would sit. It would flow into the dart. So I work with 2 cm here, slant it out by 2 cm, and then flow it down towards the shoulder dart. Okay, so this is to mark out the length to underbust, because that would also give us, it will be a guide. So this is my length to underbust marked out. Okay, so the reason why we mark this is so we know where the shape would flow to. So this is what we would work on. So from here now, I'll allow it to continue to meet up this. So it flows with this dart. So it goes this way, this, and this. Okay, kindly note that you can decide to narrow this down a bit if you'd want, but for what we have, we'll just work with the dart because it sits exactly where we want. So this is the square shape going towards the armhole. So it flows this way. Okay. Moving on, we have to indicate the shape, and we'll also need to eliminate the remaining part of this dart. Okay, next, the shape, the V shape from the side is coming from the waist. So we're going to work around the waist, or take it up a little bit around the waistline. But whatever we do, we have to flow because the last line would be around the hip. Okay, now let's go. So I'll just take it up like the first V shape is gonna go to like 1.5 above the waist, or like 1 cm above the waist, 1 cm above the waistline, and then it dips below, let's say like 1.5 or like 2 cm down in center front, this way to form the V shape. So you have to ensure it will come out sharp and nice. Okay, so I use 2.5 because it's not So 2.5 here below the waist, 2.5 below the waist, 1.5 at the center front. Okay, before I move on, let's eliminate this dart. We've done this before. What we need to do is check out the measurements you have, take it out on the side. This is the easiest way. So just check out your dart width, take it out on the side, and then we connect. So don't forget, this works with length to under bust, so this part is safe. So what we are trying to eliminate is from length to under bust to the main dart. So that's what I would do. And don't forget, we don't want to keep any parts having sharp edge out. So I'll still blend it out. Okay, I'll bring out the curve and allow this to flow so we can. So this way we don't have any sharp edge. So with this now we've eliminated this dart. Okay. Okay, now this is the way we are connecting. So from here downwards, we have the first V shape. Okay, moving on. So we'll check what we have from here to the hip, check the length, and then we'll divide it so that we can work with it. So we'll divide it. What we have here is, so I'll just divide this distance by like 2 and I'll work with it. So let's just measure like 5 cm downwards from the first line, and then another 5 cm to the second line. So it stops like a little bit towards the hip line, or you can just work with the hip line directly. Okay, for the front, we'll use the same measurement for the center front, so it will be even, 5 here and 5 here. And if you're using the hip line, just measure the distance and work exactly. And next we'll connect. So it's a V shape, and that means it needs to come out sharp. Okay, so this is it. So this is what we have. Don't forget to label before you cut out. Indicate the center front, your side seam on all parts. So this is CF. I'll also mark CF here. This is side seam. This is side seam. This is side seam. Note, I would have to connect this out because I can't leave it this way towards the side, so it needs to come out back. Remember, we can't have any sharp edge. Now the fact that, so with this now, you can see that it's going to affect this dart. So this measurement we have here, remember these are darts here. So I'll have to ensure that, okay, I'm going to take out the exact thing. So that means I'll be returning it towards the front. So here, I'll be returning it to this dart. So that means this dart is not eliminated here. I'm going to explain this part, please. I'm just going to explain this part. So the point is, this would be one piece. Remember, we are eliminating the dart. Now looking at the diagram we have on the side, let's understand this. The shape is coming, that's why I'm using a different color. So now this is one part from here now. So this is the first part. This is one, that's where I marked towards the underbust. Now this is part 2. This is part 2 here. Let me use a different color to mark out that part. Okay, so now the part with the yellow marking is part 2. So for us to have this straightened out, don't forget we're going to eliminate this dart. This dart now needs to go off because the V shape is going plain. There's no dart on it. So we've eliminated this dart. We've taken it out on the side. Right? Now for this part 2. This is 1, this is 2. For this second one to sit right, we need to remove this dart here. Otherwise, if we say we want to just close it up, our pattern might come out funny, but that is another way that it can be done. You can just close up the dart after cutting out. So, but in order for you to understand there are different methods, we can eliminate the dart, take it out on the side. So that's what I just did. I took out the distance we have here. I followed it towards the side. So now we're just having a straight cut. This way it's easier when you're sewing and it sits right. Okay. So I'm going to connect. So let me just mark out this very well. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5. So I will just write it. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, and this is 5. So this way we would understand better. Now if I'm cutting, I'll cut off this and then close off this dart because it would flow since it's passing through the apex point. And this is the front. So the only difference is the wideness we have here, we'll mark it on the back and then add necessary seam allowance. Please don't forget, before you cut out, you want to indicate. So I'm just going to indicate the straight grain. See how I marked center front side seam on all parts. Straight grain. Okay. Straight grain. Please label your pattern very well so that you would understand. Straight grain. Now this is CF, this is center front, this is center front. So all this part is going to be cut on fold. So you have to label before you cut out. Okay, so now this is what it looks. Please drop a heart in the comment section. So while cutting, you want to try to eliminate any sharp edge. Eliminate any sharp edge. Also, I'm going to be cutting the first part out. And this is the first part. And we'll close up the shoulder dart now. So it will be easier to closing up the shoulder dart. So I've closed up the shoulder dart. Now this is the front, this is the part 1. And this is the part 2. Don't forget to eliminated the dart. That's why I marked it cancelled. I've eliminated this dart. No longer there. So this is second part. This is second part. Okay, this is the third. You can always alter your pattern as you see fit. And we have all parts that we need. So this, all we need to do is place another paper and add the necessary seam allowance. Now I'm done adding up the necessary seam allowance, so let's place it. So see why it's important to mark and write out the parts so we can differentiate. This is 5, this is 4. So I have to start arranging. This is 1 and 2. Okay, this is 1, this is 2, and this is 3, 4, and 5. This is the back. So this is how it comes out. Your center front is on fold, so we didn't add any allowance to the whole center front. Now we have added allowance to the seam lines and then the side seam. So this is it. Please don't forget to subscribe, like and share this video. So all these parts are going to be cotton fold, and then the back expanded the neck. That's the neck points to match up with the front neck, and this is the back. Done. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share this video. Thank you. See you in our next class. Bye.